Hello and welcome back to Heart of the Whole. As you'll be able to tell today, I am riding solo, and it's been a while, guys, since we've actually managed to touch base. As we've kind of mentioned on a fair few podcasts recently, life has been pretty hectic. Dan's actually jetting off to Romania, I think, today, as we are recording this to do some very important work. So, Dan, I know you'll be watching this, mate. So, hope you're having an absolutely insane time. But here I am, guys. A lot has happened since we've last spoken. And again, just like to apologise for the lack of consistency on our end, but with sort of job applications, just trying to live life in general as well. The podcast hasn't really been the priority, but here I am now. We're going to touch bases, and there's a lot to cover because, since we have last spoken, guys, there's been a fair few pre-season games that we have seen. We've got plenty more to come as well as the season is rapidly approaching, and a lot of transfer news. Now, the main one being Leon Bailey, and we'll get to him a bit later because I think we should probably touch on pre-season. And we've played 2 games so far, Warsaw and Stoke, the former being better than the latter. However, it's pre-season. It's just a training exercise. I feel like we shouldn't get too high, we shouldn't get too low. Looking at what sort of went on in that Warsaw game, lots of very good things. Emi Buendia, what a player he is. It's always good when you're scoring plenty of goals in a pre-season friendly too. However, you kind of take them highs with the lows of Stoke City, a 2-0 loss. A bit frustrating. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and dissect a pre-season friendly, especially when we've lost in 2 very good goals on Stoke's behalf. And yeah, I don't think we should look too much into that. We've got, at the time of recording, Nottingham Forest tomorrow at Bodymoor Heath, followed by Bristol City away, where 1,000 Villa fans will be in that away end. That is behind the goal. If you know, you know. And then, our final out in Sevilla at home on the 7th of August. It's all very exciting. I can't wait to be back in Villa Park for that Sevilla game. And of course, Watford away, our first game in the league, no more than 7 days after Sevilla, which is exciting. Can't wait to be back on the road with my buddy Sam, back on the aways. It's been far too long from being at at Leicester away. That very last game in the pouring rain, a very disappointing 4-0 loss. To see how far we've come and to, start the season with such optimism and a lot of things to be very excited about, genuinely, at Watford away. It's really crazy, since the last time we would have been in the stand. So there is that to look forward to. Now to the sort of crux of this episode. You guys know what the transfer rumour mills are all about. One, Leon Bailey. Now, we've not covered him yet on the Villa Filler. We haven't done a transfer rumour mill yet on him. So I'm going to give you a bit of a deep dive. I've seen plenty of other podcasts have gone deep into him, but I know you guys like what we have to offer here. So it'd be rude for me not to. So Leon Bailey, wow, some talent this guy is. 23 years old, playing at Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. Had a very good season last season by all accounts as well. In all competitions, 14 goals and 10 assists. Obviously, that includes the Bundesliga and the Europa League, which tremendous output. Leverkusen have some very good talent in them wings situations, and Leon Bailey, arguably the shining star of that as well. He's created 3.86 shot creating actions per 90 minutes, with around 3.3 dribbles per 90 and 8.49 progressive passes received per 90. Now, again, it's important to kind of provide context to this. Bayer Leverkusen, clearly, these are going to be playing through Bailey, arguably not as much as, Villa do with Jack Grealish. However, looking at them numbers, he's receiving 8.94 progressive passes per 90, which tells you a lot about what kind of a winger Bailey is. He isn't going to be necessarily, camping a lot of time in his own half. He's going to be, a forward as he is, ready to receive the ball to spring on the counter-attack. 3.3 dribbles per 90, again, impressive numbers. He's lightning fast. I think I saw a tweet earlier about him clocking a top speed. I can't remember what the speed was now off the top of my head. I should have had this to hand. However, that speed would have been the 3rd fastest in the league, I believe in the Premier League, that is, by comparison, behind Kyle Walker and Tariq Lamptey for their top speeds from last season. So again, explosive pace is very important. I know Trezzy kind of topped that stat with one sprint against Arsenal 2 seasons ago now. But, it's important to know he's a very quick player. And, the 3.86 shot creating actions per 90, again, that kind of has him up there with the numbers of Jack Grealish. I believe he's around the 4.5 mark. So we're looking at a winger who not only is, directly contributing to double-figure goals, but also double-figure assists, which I think is really important. And when you're looking at the talent that we have on our disposal on the wings, obviously now we've added the likes of Emi Buendia to the squad. I think with AFCON coming up as well, we're going to lose Bertie for at least 4 or 5 games potentially. Trezzy will be injured for a large part of the season also. So it's important to kind of cover all bases and know before anyone says, I absolutely don't think that this is a signing to replace Jack Grealish. We're not entertaining that talk here until we see anything solid. And that is my piece with that. However, things have developed with Leon Bailey. It seemed like we went with an offer of £25 million over the last week to sort of open the negotiations. And now Fabrizio Romano and Sky Sports Germany are reporting that, we've had a £30 million offer accepted. I think that kind of lands at the 33 million euro mark, which is, seems to be the fee that will let Bailey go. Leverkusen willing to sell him. They are a club over the years as well that have been renowned for sort of developing some very talented players, even as recently as Kai Havertz, who joined Chelsea. Again, if you listen to the Villa Filler, we take no Kai Havertz slander here. And they took a very healthy transfer fee for that signing as well. I think Bailey to Villa is a match made in heaven. I think, the sort of front four that you can look at with the likes of Grealish, Buendia, Bailey and Ollie Watkins to fit in, it's just going to cause so many troubles for opposition defences throughout the season. And, how you work that, I don't know. There's a lot of talk about Buendia as a 10. He's not really spent a lot of time there. Could he start in there? I don't know. Does this signing mean that we move Jack centrally as well? Again, I don't know. This is something that you can argue. I think, there definitely is the argument Jack is more effective with his goal contributions on the left-hand side. However, Bailey is a player who has kind of covered, again, every sort of position on that forward line. He's played as a sort of faux striker. He's played on the right. He's played on the left. So, I think a key thing to look at here as well with all of the recruitment that Johan Langer has done is he likes to look for versatile players. And Leon Bailey absolutely seems to fit the bill. And it's a really exciting one. I think we can get excited about it now. Sky Sports Germany and Fabrizio Romano specifically are reporting on this transfer. It seems like it could get done soon. It'd be great to have him in soon. Obviously, he's just been done with Jamaica in the Gold Cup. I believe the USA knocked them out the other night. Plenty of Villa fans on Bailey watch. And yeah, you've got a lot of people stalking the socials, which is cringe, but I guess it always happens, so we can't complain too much. But it's really interesting because when I look at this transfer, one thing that really does stick out to mind, obviously the sort of basic comparisons between him and Milot Rashica is that, we're looking at another winger from the Bundesliga. Rashica's obviously just joined Norwich for around the £17 million mark. You're welcome for that, by the way, lads, with that Buendia money. However, Bailey is levels above Rashica. Now, we've tooted the Rashica trumpet on this channel. We do think he's a very good player. However, Bailey is doing it at a higher level in the Bundesliga, more consistently, and within Europa League competitions as well, which is, of course, naturally the ambition for Aston Villa heading into this season. So, yeah, and when we're talking around a similar sort of mark as well, because, this time last year, we were talking reports of 25 million euros, I believe it was, for to be able to acquire your Milot Rashica from Werder Bremen, after flirting with relegation, obviously got relegated last season as well. Very unfortunate for him and for Werder Bremen, But however, we are here now. This is a completely different kettle of fish, Leon Bailey. This is a very exciting player, a very exciting transfer. Should it go ahead, it looks like it's getting good. Again, no in the know here, just going off the sources we've seen. It seems fairly reliable. And I think it's safe to say this is a signing that we can get fairly excited about, which is always wonderful to see. And, there's never a quiet day on Villa Twitter, is there? Obviously, with all of the Grealish stuff. Again, I feel like we've made our feelings clear on that whole situation. You guys who listen to the podcasts and the channel will know exactly how we feel about that. But, finally, before we leave, I think we should talk about John Terry departing the club. I can't lie, feeling very conflicted about that. Obviously, John Terry as a bloke isn't the best bloke. I feel like I don't really need to go into that. The whole sort of allegations of racism, yes, they weren't proven in court. However, I feel like we know he did it. So, and I've got to admit, John Terry, before he came to the club, absolutely despised him. However, as a sort of, the way he's conducted himself during his time at the club, he's shown the club nothing but respect. I feel like has been one of them signings. I don't want to say a watershed signing, but he's come in, of course, didn't get promoted when he signed his 1-year deal, said there was unfinished business, came back. He's very much fulfilled that. He's improved a lot of players as well. You know, we've seen plenty of articles cite how he's, you know, personally helped improve and develop the likes of Matt Targett and Ezri Konsa, who have been colossal this season. We cannot forget. And, you know, a defender as good as John Terry, because let's be honest, sort of definitely the best defender of his generation. Having that kind of nous around the club, of course, is going to be a big loss. Now we don't have him. However, as a bloke, again, I feel like I don't really need to make my feelings clear on that one. But, you know, he conducted himself well at Villa. That's what, you know, we should judge. But again, you've got to look at the, you know, the history as well. Is this a major loss? Absolutely not. Am I glad that, you know, he's been respectful towards the club and departed, you know, early? You know, he clearly wants to play his trade as a manager, and I think he will be a top manager. And yeah, to be fair, he's handled the situation well with him leaving and stuff. And, you know, Dean and co have had nothing but good words to say about him and his experiences at the club. So yeah, I think that's my thoughts on that as well. Hopefully that opens the door for another assistant coach. It looks like Dean likes to surround himself with plenty of people. You know, being the sort of head coach as the title he gives himself rather than a manager, you know, very much emphasizes that sort of team aspect. Seen a lot of talk on Twitter about, you know, someone like Olaf Melberg returning, which would be absolutely wonderful. You know, out with one iconic defender and in with another, you know, that would be wonderful. I think he lost his job a few months back coaching out in Sweden. So, you know, he would be available. Of course, there's nothing solid. This is just sort of speculation. As it goes, you know, the sort of the shouts in the Twitter chamber, sometimes they become loud, but, you know, I don't see anything in that, but it would be really nice. And I do expect, to be honest, Dean to try and get someone else in. I know we've got Richard O'Kelly. I know we've got Cuts, who does a lot. And of course, Shakespeare, who took charge of the lads the other day when Dean was isolating. However, I do expect there to be one more coach added. I just think it's the Dean Smith way. And yeah, back the process, guys. Things are getting very exciting. The weather is a bit bad now, and why it's a bit grey here. And maybe I'm sort of languishing in darkness. However, there is plenty more to come from Heart of the Holte. I see the growth of other channels. People are doing brilliant, and I can't lie, it really does frustrate me when, you know, Dan and I don't have the time to sit down and do this kind of stuff. Hopefully you'll hear from Dan and I shortly. I know he's got some sort of hotel quarantine to do, so hopefully we'll be able to get Dan on the pod. But I just thought I'd get this out so as we could touch base with you guys, let you know that, you know, we haven't disappeared. We are going to be here throughout the rest of the season, and that is absolutely something to be excited for. Now, I think I said it in the last one, we are trying to get 5K before the season starts. And my God, the season is starting soon. So if we reach 5,000 subscribers before the season starts, we will be giving away this season's home shirt. It is a beautiful piece of kit. And, you know, I think the more I've seen it, the more I think, oh yeah, this is actually class. This is, it looks amazing on the players as well. So yeah, I think we're on 4.4K. So if we can do 600 subs in the next nearly 3 weeks, then there'll be a giveaway on the cards. There's plenty of you guys who watch these podcasts and videos that aren't subscribed. So if you're not, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update from us here at Heart of the Holte. We promise we'll be back soon with another video. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and up the Villa.